episode of The Blue Sofa, I'm gonna share one of my clients with you. She's called Katrine, and she's a physiotherapist who went online through my coaching program, Rising Star. I want to explore the whole theme about how you build an online six-figure business without going full-time, still having a family to take care of, and without, of course, burning out. Now, Katrine's path is very similar to my own path, and that's why I want to break it down and see if I can make this a little bit more easy to digest, because, of course, the road and the path to six figures can be kind of messy. But at the same time, there are some steps that we all kind of go through. I want to break the path and this journey down to 3 steps. 1, clarity. Another one, marketing, like marketing that's authentic and lean and actually working. And then sales systems and systems in general, actually. And what Katrine did through her journey and how she went from being a physiotherapist employed to having a part-time business where she actually just had her first $15,000 month and generate consistent income through her systems. So she can actually homeschool her kids now. Her husband just went part-time as well. And I want to share her story with you because I think it's really inspiring. And I always love to share the path of my clients because it's way easier to mirror yourself in other people, right? And to get inspired by their stories and see how they overcame any kind of blocks or doubts or any kind of overwhelm that they were going through. When Katrine, she started in Rising Star, one of her issues or challenges was actually not so much learning the whole skill set about running a business. She was actually quite ready for that. She was like, yeah, bring it on. But it was more around finding clarity and the mindset shift, the reframing of the limited beliefs that she was holding. So clarity and mindset shifts are very much interwoven. And in the beginning, it's one of the biggest like steps you have to take when you want to build your business. So the clarity is all around who am I and who am I here to serve? And what is it actually that I want to build my business around? Because you need that clarity to be able to figure out your market, to be able to figure out who your dream client is, and to be able to market yourself as the one who is helping that dream client in that market. And that clarity do take a little bit of time to dive into. But what Katrine found and what I found with my other clients and with myself is that making a decision, deciding, okay, I'm just going to start here. I'm going to start with what I know. I'm going to start with what I'm passionate about. And then I'm going to use that as the catalyst, like the catalyst to start my business and to just get started and get going. Because it's only when we do that, we get to practice and we get to build the skill set that it takes to build the business, because there's a lot of like owning your own voice, figuring out who you are in business, how you market yourself in an aligned way, how you sell in an aligned way, and how your products are supposed to be, or how the most beneficial way for you to market your product and position your product actually are, so your dream client want to purchase them. So that's like the first thing Katrine worked with, zooming in on who is it that I want to serve and what is the transformation that I want to take my clients through. And when you zoom into like that clarity and you have to make that decision, what happens is that you will most likely experience the first block. Will this really work for me? What if it doesn't work for me? What if I get so successful that I don't have time for my kids? What if all the investment that I make into my business fall apart? What if everything goes wrong? So when we are looking for the first act of clarity in our business, these mindset blocks, energetic blocks, the deeper rooted beliefs we have inside of us, they kind of pop up. And it's very normal. It's very, very normal. It happens to all of us all of the time. And the longer you are in business, the more you dedicate yourself to working on yourself, the more evident it becomes that it never stops. And the more sophisticated your blocks becomes. So when that's said, Katrine, she experienced, like a lot of other people, that feeling of, okay, I made a decision now. I want to go this way. And then she started doubting it. Is it really this way I want to go? I didn't get that much response. Is it then the right thing? And so on, right? And I want to give some reframes for you today, because even though these mindset blocks happens all the time and they try to kind of, I say like it's the cousins that are showing their face. It's fear, it's doubt, it's confusion, it's overwhelm. They're all gonna show you their faces in this phase of clarity. But instead of just trusting them, believing that it's true, then I want to invite you to just close your eyes for a second when you're experiencing this, when you're experiencing the doubt, when you're experiencing the overwhelm, the fear, and just imagine what it looks like and how it feels like for you when you are right there in the future, operating your business fully aligned, being visible, feeling the proudness, feeling that flow, that feeling of being in your zone of genius, that feeling of serving your clients, living your purpose, contributing the way you're meant to contribute. Just feel that feeling, because that is going to release those blocks in you and allow you to stick to your decisions, stick to that spark of clarity, that spark of like instinctively drawing you towards this place that you want to go. Because the truth is also that clarity we can't expect clarity to be crystal clear all the time. That's not, unfortunately, how clarity works. We get clarity as we get experience, and we get clarity as we walk the path that we are walking on. And some of that clarity is going to give us the clarity that we need to adjust. And some of it is going to give you the clarity that confirms our decisions. And that is completely, utterly okay. What we need to be is okay being uncomfortable and okay being in this phase of needing to adjust in our business and in our life, and taking one step at the time and being okay with the uncertainty, because it's part of building something you never built before. So if you're right now thinking, I'm just so caught up in maybe it doesn't work for me. I can see this works for other people, but doesn't work for me, like Katrine was. Or maybe I made the wrong decision. Is this really my market? Is this really my product? Is this really my ideal client? Or do I need to find something else? Or what if I get so much success that my husband or my partner doesn't like me anymore? Or I outgrow my family, or I outgrow my best friend, or I get so many clients that I become completely stressed out? Or what if I invest all of this and the worst thing happen and I lose all of my money, for example? So my assignment and invitation for you today is to get clear about what those limiting beliefs look like. What is it that keeps on popping up? The moment you're here to take the decision, or maybe you already made the decision, the next decision for launching this product, doing this automated sales funnel, or like starting the podcast, or whatever your big next step look like. Take just a few seconds and jot down the limiting beliefs that you keep on hearing inside of your own mind, and see if you can reframe them. Like actively, proactively sit down with one limited belief after the other and reframe it into a best case scenario belief. So for example, yes, I can make 6 figures while working part-time. Because those beliefs that are rooted deep inside of us, that's what's going to hold us back or support us in the journey to build our business. And it is way more pleasure-filled and way more fun and way more easeful when we are not carrying all of these limited beliefs around with us. So the clarity and the mindset, that is what's gonna give you this fertile ground for growing your business. And it was the same with Katrine. And she really cracked the code to being in this space of, I have a spark of clarity. I observe my mindset and my energetic blocks, what they're doing right now, but I'm still gonna follow this spark of clarity, even though it's not completely a solid fire, but I can see the spark. I can see the spark, and I'm gonna follow that. So she completely nailed that, and that's why her growth has been quite amazing actually over the last couple of years. One of the other things actually was quite a big thing for Katrine, and it was for me too. And she came to me and she said, I remember she was almost a little bit shy to say this, because she said, one of the things that really drains me a lot is having to produce content all of the time on Instagram, because I actually enjoy it, but I don't get a lot back. So when I produce all of this content, I give, but I don't get any money back. I don't get any like real clients back. And she was like, if I'm supposed to keep on doing this, I'm not sure I actually can scale my business in this way. And I'm also not certain that I would like it, that it's going to like, I'm afraid it's going to drain my energy, basically. That's what she told me. And I resonate so much, because it has been one of my big things in my business as well, is I find it so difficult to show up every single day on social media. I can't use my energy consistent in that way. And a lot of my clients feel the same way. And that's why I built the client attraction system, because it helps my clients and myself to attract clients that are the dream clients, the clients that we're looking for, and they're ready to purchase from us. So instead of like chasing clients on social media, entertaining people, I built this system. And Katrine, she used this system, and it's very simple actually. So she created a simple lead magnet, a free gift. It's a freebie that you give, for example, in ads on social media, and people can, you've probably seen it like 1,000 times before. It could be like a free masterclass, an ebook, or anything like that. So you pay with your email address, and then you become part of their become part of a list. And what it does is that it helps you attract, because if the lead magnet is created in the right way, it helps you attract only the right people, those who are honestly interested in what you are offering. So Katrine did that. She created a simple lead magnet, and she set up a basic Facebook and Instagram ad. And from that, she generated enough of an audience on her email list. A tribe, I call it, you call in your tribe, right? She called in her tribe, and she generated enough people to start selling, and she went from 0 to 7,000 per month consistently. And she does not have a big audience on social media at all. Now, I call this simple marketing. And the reason I do that is because it does not require you to be on all the time. It's a system that you create. It's like makeup, you can set it and forget it, right? So you create this system, and of course, you need to adjust maybe until it kind of run on its own, and it brings in dream clients every single day in your business. And for it to work, and what we worked with Katrine is, of course, as I talked about in the beginning, we need clarity around who's the person, what is the market, what is the problem they're experiencing. And then, of course, we need to create an offer around that. So whenever people are getting into your tribe, into your community, or your audience on your email list, you have a product you can sell to them. And Katrine did that, and that was kind of what made it possible for her to scale her business. But not only that, bring in consistent income. I think that's the most important, right? Even though her budget for ads was kind of small. And when I mean small, I mean $30 per day. She started all the way down to $10 per day to test her lead magnet, to test her email sequence, and to test her offer and validate it. So as soon as we validate something and we can see, oh, people are actually purchasing this, then you can definitely like spend more money on ads, right? Honestly, you don't need to have a massive ad budget, $1,000 a day or more. Some people use a lot of money on ads. And though I understand why, you don't have to. Like if you are just like you in your business and you just want to create something simple and sleek and lean in your business, you can have one lead magnet out there that leads into an offer, a specific product, and you can have that running for years. One of my own marketing funnels, like client attraction funnels, I've had running since 2021. So you can totally do that too. So again, it's a mindset shift. So instead of thinking, oh, if I have to create a client attraction through ads, I have to have a massive budget, or I have to have like tons of different freebies, lead magnets going on. You really do not have to do that, but you have to be smart about it and not just create some kind of lead magnet, but really think about who's my dream client. What is it for specific problem that I can educate them on how to solve without solving it, because your product is going to solve their problem, not your lead magnet. And then test it in ads. I know a lot of people say test it on social media. I do not necessarily want my clients to test it on social media. Yeah, they can do that. But for example, like a client like Katrine, when she started out, she didn't have a massive following on social media. So before she could test her lead magnet on social media, she would have had to use a lot of time on attracting an audience on social media before she could test her lead magnet, before she could test her offer then, right? What I helped Katrine do was instead actually create a very simple ad. I helped her target that directly to her dream clients, and then she got people into her tribe, her email list, very, very fast. Like within days, it started to work. And then she could start selling and get her offer validated instead of using all that time attracting an audience on social media. A small assignment for you could be like, your next step could be draft a very, very simple freebie concept. Who's your ideal client? What is the biggest problem they are experiencing right now? They need to be searching for it on Google, right? So what is that problem they're experiencing? And then create a simple freebie concept around how they can solve the problem. Don't solve it for them, but introduce them to a mindset hack they could use to solve the problem, or a simple framework that could be the first step to solving the problem. And then position your product, like communicate that if they want to have the full formula to solving the problem. So you don't need big dollars or a massive audience to actually start selling and to start get consistent income. What you need is a very good freebie, some ads, simple ads that are going to draw in the right kind of people, and just test and learn and validate the first offer so you can start scaling. That's what Katrine did, and that's what gave her consistent K months within the first year. And now, this is the secret behind her large launches and her being able to get her husband to work part-time and homeschool her kids. The last thing I want to talk about that Katrine did to be able to have a six-figure business and still work part-time is all around systems and automations. Because the real turning point here, and also the mindset I want to offer you, is if you want to work part-time and you want to make figures, maybe even more, what you need is to automate things and create systems that does things for you so you don't manually have to do everything. So that could be building automated funnels. It could be building automated onboarding emails for your clients, for your one-to-one clients, for your group programs, for your online programs. It could be having, automated systems for calendar links that will free up your time. So what Katrine did was to sit down and take a look at where are all of the things. So what I recommend that you sit down and do to free up your time, because by automated and systemizing, you can free up maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 hours a week easily. So what I recommend that you do is just sit down and think about what areas could you automate things that you do manually. It could be onboarding of clients. It could be client attraction. That would be a big one, right? It could be calendar integrations. It could be automated sales flows. So maybe you want to do a flash sale in next month. Can you automate that? So you only have to set up that flow one time and your email system will do the selling for you. Or can you, for example, automate your calendar in some capacity? Can your clients book their sessions themselves in your calendar? What kind of emails do you send all the time manually? Can you automate it? So creating systems and automations for systems are the biggest game changer when it comes to really reclaiming your time, especially when you are just reaching 6 figures or 6 figures and above. And it will change as you go. That's why I'm inviting you to sit down already now and think about what are the manual tasks that potentially could be automated. Where do you do things every single day manually that could be put into a system so you don't have to do it all the time? Can you batch create your content? Could you batch create your sales? Like, do you have a campaign you can batch create today and then let your system sell for you next week, for example? So there will be many different places depending on what kind of business you run right now and where you are in your business. But claiming back your time and working part-time, you have to think in a different way. You have to really think, where can I automate? Where can I create systems so I can lay on the couch if that's what I want to do? So your systems and your automations are going to do the heavy liftings. The systems is not just about saving time, and it's the same for Katrine, because one thing is to get to a point where you validated your offers and you can see, well, actually this offer actually sells, but then to get consistent income, you need to sell consistently. And systems and automations also help Katrine and me and a lot of my other clients to actually create this consistency and do it in a way where you still have space and time and you don't have to work full time if you don't want to. But again, it's the mindset. The mindset needs to really be narrowing down on how can I do less but get more? How can I be as lazy as possible but still get what I want? And the answer to that is systems, and it is automations. So if I had to recap this episode, I want to say clarity is really important, but don't expect full clarity. Look for that spark of clarity and follow it, and expect your energetic blocks to show up. Expect doubt is gonna come, fear is gonna come, overwhelm is gonna show its face, and it's okay. It's just an invitation for you to reframe those beliefs so your mindset will support your growth instead of sabotaging it. Client attraction, and to automate your client attraction is one of the most powerful foundational pillars in building a 6-figure business, because you need somebody to sell to, and those somebody have to be people who are actually your dream clients. And if you rely on social media like Katrine did in the beginning, it's going to take you a long time. The minute you start just surrendering into, let's do paid traffic, let's do ads, let's just invest a small amount in paid traffic, it's going to absolutely change the game. Also, the last thing, working part-time, making 6 figures and above working part-time, that's not a lucky flute. That is strategy, and that's choices, and it's systems and automations. And it is 100% doable for everybody who is committed to learning the skills and the mindset for creating a part-time business, but still make like a full-time salary and full-time revenue from that business. Now, if you want to learn my client attraction system and how to do that, I want to invite you to join my masterclass, where I teach you how to build an automated client attraction system and really attract the right ready-to-buy clients into your online business. It is one of my biggest passions to teach this, and it's like a private mission that I have to teach as many female entrepreneurs, online female entrepreneurs, to do this, because it's a game changer. And if you liked this episode, then do subscribe, review it, and share it. I would love to spread the message and help more female entrepreneurs get the right tools, the right skills, the right mindset, and the energy work to actually create the business they would really, really love. So I am in the business of making dreams come true. So if you know somebody who is really dreaming about creating that online business, or who already have an online business, just like dreaming about more flow, more ease, like not having to grind and hustle for every single sales, then refer them to this podcast. I would love to be able to help and inspire more people. See you in the next episode. Bye-bye.